be not judged. For with what judgment ye judge, ye shall be judged, and with what measure ye meant it shall be meant unto you again. That's something that people make judgments on other people, and sometimes it's unfairly. They may not know the whole story to it, but when you do judge them in a way that would be pleasing unto God. I mean, don't uh, get rough with them. Or sometimes you can say things that are very hurtful, and you can turn people away. And it says, "And why beholdest thou the mote that's in thy brother's eye, but consider not the beam that's in your own eye?" Now, here would be somebody that was probably going to criticize a brethren that had a problem or was doing something wrong, but he was doing something worse than what his brother was. He had a beam in his eye, a whole lot bigger than the one that was in his brother's. And it says, "Or how wilt thou say to thy brother, Let me pull out the mote out of thine eye, and behold, the beam is in thine own eye, thou hypocrite? First cast out the beam out of your own eye, and then shalt thou see clearly to cast out the mote from your brother's eye." In other words, clean our lives up before we start criticizing other people, because we may be in a worse state than what they are, and we're just not seeing our condition that we're in. Give not to which is holy unto the dogs, neither cast ye your pearls before swine, lest they trample them underfoot and turn again and rend you. Um, so don't give holy stuff unto dogs, or cast your pearls before swine, lest they get trampled underfoot and turn again and rend into you. Uh, Dogs and swine, they don't really have an understanding of what you're doing, and you need to uh, try to get the message across and to them. And if you start casting your pearls before swine, in other words, they're just going to just waller all over them and trample them underfoot. Um, they're just sort of like despisers. In other words, they despise the word of God, and they're not going to do it anyway. So, ask and it shall be given unto you. Seek and ye shall find. Knock and it shall be open unto you. All right, he's talking about prayer. It says, ask and it shall be given. Seek him, God, and ye shall find. Knock and it shall be open unto you. Uh, Every time I see the word knockdown, I think about Revelations there when he's talking to the church and says he stands at the door and knocks. Laodicean church, I believe it is, the seventh church. In other words, the church has pushed him plumb out, and he's wanting access back into the church. But all we got to do is knock, and he will open unto us. For every one that seeketh receiveth, and he that seeketh findeth, and to him that knocketh it shall be open. And sometimes we can pray, and it seems like we do not get an answer. But we do. We either get it answered right then, or he might put a not now, later, or he may just come not want to do it at all. That'd be like us and one of our kids, depending on what they ask for. If they ask for something that would hurt them and we knew it, we wouldn't give it to them. But they ask for something and we know, well, it's not right for them right at that moment, but a little while later, they could probably handle it, give it to them then, or maybe immediately give it to them. But God does answer our prayers, but sometimes we expect uh, an immediate response from Him. And then again, now we need to have our lives in order. In other words, living in the will of God will get His attention a whole lot quicker. Um, you know, prayer is something that, well, take, say, two nations going to war against one another. You got Christians in each nation, and they're praying for a victory. Well, one of them's not going to get it, and one of them will. It depends on the will of God, the things that He knows what's best because He knows the end from the beginning. And so He's going to do what He knows is best. And when God looks at something, it ain't like us looking at it. He'll look at something and He sees the beginning and He sees the end and all in between. He sees it all at one time. And we can't do that. We're in the immediate, we just right now, and we're impatient. We just can't stand to wait. And it says, or what man is there of you whom if a son asked bread, will you give him a stone? In other words, if one of your children asks for something that they need and they're hungry and you're going to give them food, you're not going to give them a stone. In the same way with God. If He sees that we really need something, He's going to give it to us, and He's not going to give us a stone. Or if he asked of a fish, you will give him a serpent. And if ye then, being evil, know how to give good gifts unto your children, how much more shall your Father, which is in heaven, give good things to them that ask Him? That's natural for being parents. I mean, if our children ask for something that they really need, we're going to go out of our way to see that they have it, and we're going to feed them and clothe them, and make sure they have their medical treatment and all of that. So the Father in heaven, I mean, He's going to give good things to us that ask of them when we ask of Him. It says, therefore, all these things, whatever ye would that men should do unto you, do ye even so to them, for this is the law of the prophets. And we're supposed to treat people the way that we want to be treated. In other words, go out of our way to do good to somebody that you don't like and don't like you. And that may affect them later, and you may help them greatly. But it says, therefore, all things, whatever ye would that men shall do to you, do ye even so unto them, for which is the law of the prophets. It says, enter ye in at the strait gate, for wide is the gate and broad is the way that leadeth to destruction, and many there be which go in thereat. The easy and the wide gate is the things of the world. We're just going through and doing the things that we enjoy to do. down here on this earth. And the narrow gate, the straight gate, is the one that leads to heaven, and it's the trail that's a little harder to take than the wide one is, because of the wide one, you're partying and having a good time as you go through this lifetime. But if you're a Christian, it's going to be a little different, and it might be a little harder for you, because once you become a Christian doesn't mean you're not going to have problems. You're still going to have problems, but you got God there to help you and bring you through it. And beware of false prophets would come to you in sheep's clothing, but inward they are raging wolves. And we have several of those out there now, that's preaching and teaching that are false prophets. And it seems like they're the ones that gather the biggest crowds. Those a lot of those mega churches, they're the ones that you see it, you claim it, and you're going to get it. And that's not true. And they try to tell you, you give X amount of money, or you're going to get this in return and that in return, or you're not. But you will be laying up treasures in heaven. I'm going to stop right in there and let Adam finish from there on out, but about some fruits and stuff. And anybody got anything they like to add or